Hi, in this brief video I want to introduce you to paper number 3, in which you're going to explain, apply, and evaluate ideas from Bain's What the Best College Students Do. Let's take a quick look at how this is going to work. You're going to pick out anywhere from 5 to 8 topics from Bain that interest you and that you'd like to explore more fully. They could be topics you agree with, topics you disagree with, topics you have mixed feelings about. Here is where all your note taking is going to pay off, though, because as we've been reading, you've been practicing the CTEQ method. And the CTEQ method actually perfectly identifies potential topics for you, because one topic could be a claim. A claim is an argument Bain is making. That could be a focus of a section of your paper. Another kind of topic could be a term, something like self-efficacy. Another kind of topic that you could explore in your paper would be an example, like Tia Fuller. Or finally, a quote, like this one here that I find so interesting in terms of what it suggests about how my favorite spider scientist thinks about the college experience. In other words, a topic for this paper can be a claim, a term, an example, or a quote. Everything we've been working on so far. So what you're going to do is go back to your annotations, find the stuff that you think you could write the most interesting responses to, and develop those into the sections or body paragraphs of your paper. That brings me to an important distinction between this paper and the previous ones. In the previous paper, we really focused on the paragraph as the defining unit, but it's very possible that for this paper, you're going to think more of sections, multiple paragraphs. And the reason for that is I'm going to ask you in this paper to do 3 things to the idea that you choose, the CTEQ, the claim, term, example, or quote that you choose in each section. 1, I want you to explain it. 2, I want you to apply it. And 3, I want you to evaluate it. Now that can be done in a paragraph, and I'm going to give you a sample essay that does that in paragraphs. But it can also be done in sections. In other words, you could take 2 or 3 paragraphs to do those 2 or 3 tasks. And that's one of the decisions you're going to have to make as you structure this paper for yourself. What I want you to know up front, though, is that you can have any kind of CTEQ mix. In other words, there's no rule that you have to have a certain number of claims, terms, examples, or quotes in your paper. You could look, your whole paper could be organized around major claims, your whole paper could be organized around terms, your whole paper could be organized around examples or around quotes. But most people do some kind of mix of those, with the emphasis in my experience falling mostly on the terms that people find so intriguing from this book, but often also claims or really critical examples you want to explore. And then usually some people also explore quotes. There's just some quotes in the paper they love and they want to unpack them, explain them, apply them, and evaluate them. The drafting process for this paper is a little different because you're going to write out your explanation of the idea that you're getting from CTEQ. You're going to write out your application of the idea to your own experiences. And by application, I mean your life experiences, but also your intellectual experiences, your courses, your classes, your readings, your observations. I mean experiences in the broadest sense. You're going to draft an explanation of the the idea from Bain. You're going to apply it to your own experience. And finally, you're going to evaluate it. And you're just going to get those words down in maybe all 1 paragraph, maybe 3 paragraphs, maybe 2 paragraphs where you combine different elements. But you're going to craft all that, and then you're going to create a topic sentence that will either be the topic sentence or main claim for that section of the paper if it's multiple paragraphs, or for one's particular paragraph if that's the way you're structuring things. Now is a good time to go to the rubric. Hopefully you've already printed that out or you have it up on your screen, because what I want you to understand, again, it looks like I left out a word here on the PowerPoint, is that the topic sentences for this paper apply to 1 paragraph, or, no, I didn't leave it out, I'm sorry, or they apply to a section of 2 or 3 paragraphs. So there you go. Those are your options, and that's how these are different. And then on this slide, you can see that the model that we've been following for topic sentences throughout the semester still works. The idea of an active verb that links the 2 elements of what you're exploring in the section or paragraph. On one side is going to be an idea from Bain, something you've pulled from your CTEQ notes. On the other side is going to be something from your own educational experience. Usually this link is evaluative, In other words, usually you're applying your experience to the idea from Bain in a way that ultimately constructs an argument, a claim, an evaluation about the utility or value of Bain's idea. So here's three sample topic sentences that also appear on the rubric. I won't sit here and read them for you. It's a good place to stop the video and look them over yourself. But in each case, you can see that it's the same concept and it's the same experience, but different arguments are crafted. You'll also notice there's different kind of sentence structures. I'm especially intrigued by the use of the subordinate clause in that last example below. So hopefully this discussion of the drafting process and of the topic sentences will get you thinking in the right direction. But really the most important elements that we've talked about here are the ideas about the kind of ideas and topics you're going to pick for the paper. So I want to get back to one of those earlier slides, so be patient with me. Give me a second to do that. Here we go. So again, the idea that the topics you're going to pick are going to come from CTEQ and that they're going to structure your paper. The idea that you can organize these topics into paragraphs or sections, but the main point is that you're going to explain, apply, and evaluate. And the idea that any kind of mix of different ideas can work for the text, although I do want you to spread things out over the course of the entire text. And finally, that the drafting process here is going to be different, and that the topic sentences, although having a different scope, paragraph or section, really are going to follow the same structure we've been working with. So I hope these ideas help you as you move towards starting this paper, developing your topics, developing your paragraphs. Thanks.